afternoon, everyone. A warm welcome to IREX Business Connect. It's great to have all our esteemed panelists from different countries, along with our attendees together on this platform. Firstly, I hope all of you and your families are safe and well. COVID-19 has changed our lives in ways that most of us never imagined. Our country is in the midst of lockdown 4.0, and certain restrictions are being lifted. Economic activities have started slowly but steadily and picking up. Here is hoping we all come out of this stronger together. Looking at these challenging times, we at GMN Media have put together this platform as an opportunity to educate all our esteemed investors, investment bankers, lawyers, immigration and real estate consultants about attractive citizenship and residency programs on offer. Today we have 4 panelists, each representing a specific country and presenting the immigration program and opportunity the destination has to offer. Each panelist will have 20 minutes for their presentation, followed by 10 minutes of Q&A. I would request all the other panelists to be on mute during the presentation of a fellow panelist. Further, I would request all our attendees to be on active speaker mode. During time of Q&A, all attendees are requested to click the raise your hand button on your screen and you will be allowed to ask your question. My co-host will unmute you so that you can ask your question. I would also request the attendees to refrain from asking questions on chat, as you will be given a chance to speak by clicking the raise your hand button during the Q&As. Since we only have 10 minutes, in case you didn't get your chance to ask your question or your question remains unanswered, the panelists will be reaching out to you after the webinar. Our first speaker of the day is Mr. Alexander Mansour, founder and CEO at Nomad Capital. He is going to present on Portugal citizenship by investment and discuss about a high-end beach resort, Nomad Bay, Algarve. Over to you, Alex.
Thank you, Rohan. So I will now share my screen. And I appreciate all attendants joining this afternoon. Are you guys seeing my screen now? Rohan, can you confirm?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. So as mentioned by Rohan, I am Alex Mansour. I'm the founder and CEO of Nomad Residences, and we are based in Portugal. We are one of the leading real estate developer, and we also do promotion and investments in Portugal. Initially, we were established from a large European development company, and we benefit from a 350 million euros investment track record in Lisbon, Porto, and the Algarve. I am originally from France. I arrived in Portugal 4.5 years ago. So I'm not selling Portugal because it's my country by default. I'm selling Portugal because I moved to Portugal 4.5 years ago. I invested in Portugal and I went through the process I'm going to describe. And because I was happy about it and it was a success, that's why I'm selling Portugal. We have an extensive experience in property management also. We are one of the largest property managers in Portugal. And of course, we have expertise in investment immigration. So Nomad's product and services, they are specifically designed for investors that are looking for a mix of golden visa options and safe yields for their investments. Talking about the golden visa and citizenship program in Portugal. I think it has grown to be one of the most attractive programs out there because of how flexible it is. And what investors can benefit out of it. So basically, the only requirement is to reside in Portugal 1 week per year, which is really not much. It offers residency for the entire family. So the main applicant, the main investor, as well as his spouse, his kids, and if he can prove his parents are financially dependent, they can also join the single application. The minimum investment usually is 500,000 euros, but in select areas, it can be brought down to 400,000 euros. And I'll show you an example of one of our projects afterwards. The requirements are very manageable, as I'll show in a minute. And after 5 years, assuming you did your 1 week per year, you can apply for citizenship. I know that in India, you're not allowed to have dual citizenship. So another option you can benefit from is to apply for permanent residency. So you actually, after 5 years, can choose whichever you want, and you can then go from permanent citizenship to residency to citizenship even in the future. So again, full flexibility here. Of course, Portugal is one of the safest countries in the world and one of the best passports, as it offers visa-free access to all of Europe and 170 countries. As I said, one of the most popular programs. The main nationalities are the ones you'd expect: China, Brazil, Turkey, South Africa, and Russia, but actually India comes next. So India actually enjoys a lot the golden visa program of Portugal, and it has been a very successful and key driver of the Portuguese booming economy in the last few years. In the last few months, because of COVID situation and travel restrictions, we had to learn how to be open-minded and brainstorm on how to make this a simple process in this current situation. And basically, we managed to make this an even easier process than it was before, which is mostly done from India. So you as an investor can now open your bank account remotely, obtain your tax ID number in Portugal, do the investment identification, all of the golden visa application and submission with your local lawyer from India, all of the translation in Portuguese of the legal documentation can be done also from Portugal with the help of the Portuguese embassy in India. And then you actually even get the preliminary approval from the immigration department without having traveled to Portugal. The only time you have to travel to Portugal is in about 6 to 8 months, once your golden visa is already pre-approved, to do the in-person interview, do the biometrics, and get your ID card. So basically, this gives you more than enough time for the COVID situation to resolve, and you also get this preliminary approval before you actually travel to Portugal at the end of the year. I mentioned that some locations allow for a 20% reduction in the minimum investment. This is a simple scenario that shows the difference between the 500,000 euro option and the 400,000 euro option. Of course, both are full ownership properties. It's just a pure reduction in the minimum investment. But you see that it does a significant change. You can actually get this residency with all tax paid, all lawyer fees, and all due diligence, and all golden visa taxes paid for the next 5 years for less than 500,000 euros. But please stay online because I will be showing some options for you at the end of this presentation. So let's talk about one of our projects. This is our new flagship project, which we launched last month. It's called Nomad Bay. It's a high-end beach resort, which we spent 1 year designing. And as you'll see, all of the furniture, all of the apartments were specifically designed and tailored for the high-end tourist audience of the Algarve. The Algarve is located in the south of Portugal. It's one of Europe's most exclusive summer destinations. And it also has residents all year round from all of Europe. And it is one of Portugal's leading region in terms of economic growth and top touristic region. So the interest here for a golden visa investors is, of course, you're not going to be here necessarily all year long. You're probably going to be spending a week or a bit more than a week in Portugal. And when you're not there, you want to invest in a property that is going to generate enough yields to make it also an attractive investment. And this is why investing in top touristic region is interesting for a golden visa investor. This is the view of the pool club area, and as you can see, there's a beautiful view on the ocean. You have terraces or rooftops in every single apartment, and all of the furniture that you see in those images, in those 3D renderings, are the actual furniture that we deliver with the apartment. So turnkey product where you only come with your toothbrush, basically. So as I said, because of its prime location in the Algarve, each apartment benefits from the 20% discount on the minimum golden visa investment. So I will give you more details and options in a few minutes, so stay online. And of course, because of our relationship with IREX, we have special deals and discounts which are available to investors, agents, and existing clients. So if you are interested to learn more, please email me on the info@nomadcap email and mention the discount code IREX 2020 so we can know that you attended this webinar. In terms of location for this project, so as I said, it's in one of the most notable seaside village called Carvoeiro. They have all of the activities that you could expect from a beach destination. We have a daily plane access from Lisbon. We can fit up to 15 passengers from Lisbon to the resort, or you can fly directly to Faro International Airport. These flights are also resuming in mid-June, so in 3 weeks from today. This is the master plan of the resort. So we have two different plans for this project. On the left side are mostly residents, which are going to be spending all year round into the project. And on the right side, it's mostly for touristic and short-term rentals. So as an investor, if you are looking to rent your property to tourists and short-term renters, probably you want to be around here. And if you're looking to live like I do in Portugal all year long, this is probably the location you want to focus your attention on. In terms of amenities, so we are viewed as one of the top high-end developers in Portugal. So we have all the amenities you would expect from a project like this, from 24-hour reception, pool club. We have a beach shuttle. The beach is located 1 kilometer from the resort. Restaurant, bar, gym, parking, all the service rental, maintenance, repairs, and of course, room services. So our apartments range from 1 to 3 bedrooms, as I mentioned. This is actually a 2-bedroom unit, which fits under the 400,000 golden visa package. And this is actually one of them. So all floor to ceiling windows, indoor, outdoor, is fully blended. And the furniture in this apartment is also included. From a unit like this, you can expect about a 6% yield on the first year of operation, which then goes up to 8, 9, and 10%. We have a profit sharing mechanism with all investors, where you also benefit from the revenues and profits of all the bar and restaurant revenues as well. So basically, as a primary residence, a vacation home, or as an investment, there is a Nomad Bay property for every investor. And this is one of the bedrooms from the Golden Visa package apartment also. Another example. And this is one of the private rooftops which you can benefit from as well. So what are the top reasons to invest? First of all, Nomad Bay is a prime concept, which is perfectly located and which also allows for investors to benefit from one of the most flexible golden visa programs, and of course benefit from the service rental experience as well. The Algarve is one of Europe's most fancy summer destination and Portugal's top touristic region. It represents 30% of national touristic income of Portugal. So it makes it a perfect place to invest in a property. And finally, the property management and service rental, which allow you as an investor to freely occupy your apartment seasonally or all year round, and still benefit from the resort's services and amenities. And whenever you are not here or just abroad, you can just generate income through rentals without any restrictions. So let's move on to the different options. So I'm giving you, there are 74 apartments in this property, but I'm just giving you 3 different examples to show you what 400,000 euro can buy you. So this is one of the two bedrooms apartments. You have 81 square meters of indoor area, almost 40 square meters of terrace. It's fully furnished with an indoor parking, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and that's 400,000 euros. If you're looking to generate yield, I think this is also a very, very good type of layout because it has 2 master bedrooms. So a lot of millennials and young entrepreneurs are going to the Algarve every summer, and they like to rent apartments with friends, and they like to split the bill and not decide which one, who gets the best bedroom. So in this layout, they don't have to decide because there are 2 master bedrooms. So this is really good for investors that are purely looking to generate some yield. And that's another type of layout, another example with a larger terrace and an outdoor kitchen. And it's also located in the main reception building. So this also can be a very interesting option for a golden visa investors looking for yields. We have many other options available. These are just 3 examples. So don't hesitate to ask for more information, and I'll be very happy to address. So this was about the project. I'd like to spend some time answering some questions about the golden visa process and any other questions or concerns you may have. So please don't hesitate asking anything that you might find useful.
Great. Thank you, Alex. We now open the platform for the questions that you have. My co-host will unmute you so you can go ahead and ask your question. So, Lavanya, over to you. Can you handle it? Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Deepak. Please go ahead with your question. Kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, hi. Yeah, actually, I am much interested in, there is a scheme that for the creating the 10 more jobs and starting a company, and we got the golden visa. So I was expecting something over that also. So do you have any inputs for that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you develop, if you set up a business and you manage to employ 10 people from Portugal, you can also benefit from this program. But if you want to email me, I'm happy to give you some good resources there because I've had some friends that actually went through this.
Sure, then I will just drop an email and I will expect there some detail over that, right?
Yeah, with pleasure, Deepak.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we move on to our next question. Sanjay, please go ahead asking a question. You can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Hello, Sanjay. How are you?
Yes, good. Thank you. I have 3 questions actually. Algarve actually happens to be one of the relatively more backward regions, so it is entitled to a lower golden visa threshold of 280,000. So my first question is, why are you launching something in the region of 400,000 when actually the whole reason for going to Algarve? Because for any investor who's investing in Portugal from outside, his first preference would be either Lisbon or Porto. So the only reason, one of the main reasons you would want to go to Algarve is because it offers a lower threshold. So that's my first question. And there are many other competing properties in Algarve which are available for 280,000. So that's my first question. Do you want to take one by one, or you want me to ask?
Yeah, let's do one by one. So I mean, this is a good question, and actually it was already 2 questions. So the first question was Lisbon, the Algarve, or Porto. And just to answer that question, you know, I'm an investor myself. So the properties that you see and the properties that are in our track record are the properties that I invested in myself and developed in myself. So obviously 5 years ago, I started with Lisbon, but then prices became just too expensive. So I moved to Porto. And then from Porto, I moved to the Algarve because this is where the market was, the margins were the most interesting and the prices were still interesting for investors to invest. So the reason I'm not promoting Porto and Lisbon, it's because I'm not investing there anymore. So that's question number 1. Question number 2 was about the 280,000 euro golden visa. And just so you know, this is 400,000 instead of 500,000. The properties you are mentioning are developed by small developers, and also you don't have full ownership on your property. This is partial ownership. which is not legally recognized in Portugal. So if there is any problem with those properties, you will never ever be able legally to win. You will have a legal battle forever. So we have been staying away from all 280,000 euro options out there. And finally, in the high-end space, there are not so many competing projects. There's our project and there's the W also, which is not too far. And that's it. So basically, this 1,000 euro option, you are not owning the property. It's not yours. It's partial ownership with other people, and it has to be renovated. So that's my answer.
Okay. So which, let me clarify your answer. So you mean I have complete control, the property will be in my name, I can do exactly as I choose to, I can rent it out, I can keep it vacant, or I could give it to you for rent, for, getting putting it on the rental market. All the
Exactly,
three.
it's yours. It's yours, and you're not sharing it with people you've never met. So
Okay. So in terms of my second question, if I were to choose to buy this property and give it to you for renting, you said that you have some guaranteed minimum return on investment?
So we don't really guarantee any minimums, um, but typically we have been seeing that in our first year of operation in other resorts, we are at about 6%, and then it goes up to 8, 9, 10%. So investors have found this fairly interesting. Initially, we were doing 4% guaranteed returns like most competitors were doing. But because it was outperforming, a lot of clients were opting out from that option. So we haven't proposed it in this particular project, and because we haven't seen any interest in it. But of course, if a 4% yield is what you are looking for as a guarantee for the first 3 years, it's something we can explore.
Okay, but okay. So yeah, in a way,
Okay.
you've answered the question. So my last question, and
Yeah, Sanjay, we'll have to. I think you can ask your last question. We'll have to move on to the next person. Then,
sure, sure. So just a very quick one. And right now, the tourism economy. I am a tourism expert myself. We advise governments on tourism all over the world. Right? Tourism economy has collapsed. It's a zero. The latest UNWTO, I don't need to go into the technical details. The tourism economy is expecting to lose $1 trillion. They are expecting that the best case scenario, the UNWTO, according to the report, is that the tourism will be down by a minimum of 58%. In all likelihood, it will be down by 78%.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's a
zero.
fair.
It's zero. So what I'm saying is typically the time that you are not spending, if first it's a cash 22. If I'm in Lisbon, if I'm in Portugal, I myself would, as an investor, would prefer spending time in Lisbon. There are not that many things to do around Algarve. And the other option of renting is severely compromised because the tourism economy has died. Who the hell is going to go there and rent out a property for a couple of months or a couple of days?
So Sanjay, if I may, things the humankind has kind of a short memory, and I mean I know it's more like tourism went down by 99% in the last 3 months. But just so you know, I mean, in Europe at the moment, this situation has been resolved. I mean, the restaurants in Portugal are open. I flew from Portugal. I'm actually in Paris right now, and I'm going in Nice tomorrow. I mean, in terms of restrictions, it has been lifted up, and also there will be tourism, European tourism this summer. So maybe it's going to be a 30% or 40% decline for this year, but by next year it will have resolved. I mean, tourism is not going to stop for forever. People are not going to stay at home forever, and there's going to be an after COVID for sure, if it hasn't even started already. So yes, it has gone down. Yes, it was pretty bad for the last 3 months. Yes, this summer will not be as good as it was last year, but probably next year or the year after it will have largely recovered. So, as for Portugal, I would say 80% of tourism comes from inside Europe. There's not going to be any restriction this summer for Europe. So I think from that standpoint, we are pretty okay. So yes, it wasn't good, but it should recover, and it should recover quicker rather than not at all,
Okay, so we need to go to the next question now. Um, Hi, Hitinder. Please ask your question. You can unmute yourself.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
So I've been like hearing these stories of the doom days and things like that. I'm of the opinion everything is going to be on track. Everything's going to be fine. People are short of memory. Whatever has come will go, and we all will be happy. So having said that, I just have got a simple question. Portugal, I know, is a wonderful country. Now, when you talk about investing of 400,000 euros over there, we have got an upper threshold limit of 250,000. Suppose I want to invest there. So how am I going to take my money out of India when I'm not allowed to invest more than 250,000? Are there any option of fund financing also available? Like, how do we go about this?
Okay, so it's a good question. First of all, if you are a husband and wife, both of you can send 200,000 euro each. You can send both up to 250,000 euro on your personal bank account in Portugal. So that already solves the minimum threshold.
Okay.
And if you are purchasing an apartment which is more expensive than that, then you can phase out the remaining of the investment or use bank financing locally in Europe also. So in terms of the minimum 400,000 euro, you are already saved from that minimum threshold.
It means
Because
like, suppose I want to take two properties. So 200,000 will be funded over there. Can it be funded?
yeah, of course, of course. You're allowed to do up to 250,000 euros you and 250,000 euro for your wife.
And plus, I'll get loan from bank as well, and that will qualify me for this visa.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you are allowed as an Indian citizen to enjoy from bank financing. Of course, there is a due diligence requirement.
In Portugal, bank financing in Portugal, right?
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. That really answers my question. By profession, like I'm a ICW and a lawyer, so I have got like investors as well as even we have got some other domains that we can definitely discuss on the later stage. Thank you. It really serves the purpose. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Athinder. Our next question is from Falguni. Hi, Falguni. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, hello everybody. Hi.
Hello.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon. So basically, I'm from UK, and we also assist clients from UK to do investments in Portugal, including with presence in India as well. I think the property by description that we see looks something that is of that taste in people from Europe, in UK, particularly the beaches and everything. I'm just interested at, because we need to answer as an immigration lawyers, sometimes the client have the question to say that, should we wish to exit or should we wish to sell? Is the company, do you have any kind of a provision to buy that back, or how does this work? Or do you have to just keep it up in the open market for it to get sell?
So, I mean, we typically don't, Portugal is a highly liquid market, honestly.
Yes.
So usually if you're looking to sell a property, it just sells.
Yes.
Also, I mean, our properties, usually when we launch a project, they sell out fairly fast. So we always have a wait list of potential buyers that are looking to buy a property.
Right.
So, I mean, during COVID, we had some investors, they had to get out of their investments. And for us, it was fairly easy to replace those investments to new ones, to new investors in each instances. But I mean, I know that myself as an investor, I'm keeping and buying 3 of the apartments already in the project. So it just proves my own trust into that it's a good investment and at a good price. So, I'm not too worried that if you need to
about
sell,
the exit from the place.
Yeah.
Okay. And may I just ask you, and what do you see the potential? Because in this particular project that you've just discussed, what do you see the potential after 5 years in terms of capital appreciation? What should be the realistic expectation from the client?
So I think that, like, if you look at the W Resort, which is not too far, they are selling at about 6,000 euros a square meter at the moment. We are selling at about 4,500 euros a square meter because we are in the early phase of commercialization and because we have a big pool of investors which are buying always our projects in the early phases of constructions like it is right now.
Yeah.
So we want them to have this upside so that when they can resell at delivery and buy for our new projects. And you see, so we've been doing this for quite some time. And also, I mean, as I said earlier, I used to invest in Lisbon a lot and the market was booming and it was going at a double-digit return yearly. Then it started stabilizing. So I moved to Porto, where I did the exact same thing. This is my first official launch investment in the Algarve. So I foresee that in the next 4 years, there's going to be a double-digit return in the Algarve as well. But of course, I don't have a crystal ball. It's just that typically if I invested in a project, it's that I believe myself in the project. Otherwise, I wouldn't be investing here.
Brilliant. Can we get an email of details of this project? Can we get details of this one, please, by email?
Of course. So I'm screenshotting your name, Falguni, but if you want to put in the chat your email address, I will email you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So I've just got a client coming up as soon as early as in first week of August, and we would want to come and see the property or meet possibly. So if you could just send us the detail, that would be great.
So basically, in this case, we will welcome you at Lisbon Airport. We have special rates with Emirates Airlines, which I'll send you. And then from Lisbon to the resort, we have our own plane to fly guests, and we can fly up to 15 guests in the aircraft. So I think that will actually work well.
Sure. Please, please email me the details. I'll send you my email address. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, Falguni, thank you so much. Alex, that was a great presentation. We're going to wrap this session up with this. There are many more questions. For those of you who have not got your answers yet, Alex is going to reach out to you via email. And apart from that, Alexander, if you can check out the chat as well, there are a couple of questions in the chat and the Q&A section as well. So if you can, we'll go on to the next presentation. Well, just to give you guys all a heads up, we have almost 92 plus attendees from all across India, which is great. So moving on to our next presenter for today, we have Mr. Khalid Mughal, Managing Partner, ROC Citizenship. He will be presenting on Canadian migration via branch location of your existing business, business opportunities, and investment into existing business. Over to you, Khalid. Nice to have you. I couldn't exchange pleasantries with you earlier because I think you joined in while I was starting off. So hope you're having a good day. I think it's early morning right now in Canada.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, it is. It's actually 6 o'clock a.m. So
wow, great to have you. Over to you.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you for having us from Rock Citizenship. Appreciate it, and I hope everybody's doing well. Anyhow, I know due to time, I'm going to jump right in. So I'll be starting off with sharing a screen. If you can give me a second here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope again everybody's well. So jumping right in, Rock Citizenship, we are Canadian and actually we are a UAE Dubai-based company with a branch office in Canada, and we're going to be presenting. I'm going to be presenting Canadian residency and PR program through the business stream. So jumping right in again. Rock Citizenship, actually our company specializes in residency and citizenship by investment programs globally. All programs are available that are available in the market, as well as tailor-made solutions. We have a dedicated team that multicultural and languages, English, French, Russian, Portuguese, and Arabic. We also have our own in-house professional legal assistants linked to any application submission. And Rock Citizenship is a division of Driven Properties, head office in UAE, Dubai, UAE. Driven Properties offers multiple services, including real estate, property management, and investment. So our topic today is about Canada. So Canada, as some of you I'm sure know, is a very large country, second largest in the world after Russia, with 10 provinces and 3 territories, surrounded by 3 oceans. Capital is Ottawa, and the largest metropolitan areas are Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. I myself, I'm born and raised in Toronto, and currently I'm just outside Toronto in Mississauga, which is a border city. It's highly urbanized country, Canada is, with 80% of its population living in large and medium-sized cities. Canada has a small population of about 37 million compared to the size of land, and basically per square mile or square kilometer, very low population per square miles and per square kilometer. We are very diverse and a multicultural nation, and our primary languages are English and French. The type of streams that are available through wealth citizenship is we have the existing business opening a branch location through the LMIA owner-operator stream. We have the new business startup, which is office-based startup LMIA owner-operator stream. We also have the investment into an existing business, which is basically an existing operating business. You can invest and obtain residency through the LMIA owner-operator or through a provincial nominee entrepreneur program. Other streams available are express entry, skilled worker, job offer, temporary work permit, student streams, etc. Now, we are focusing on the business stream, and during this presentation, our email address will be displayed at the end. If anybody has any inquiries pertaining to any other stream for Canada, they're more than welcome to contact us. Our phone number and, as I said, email address will be posted up. So, benefits of business residency in Canada. An applicant and their spouse, as well as children under the age of 22, are eligible to migrate under the business residency program. For branch location, if you have an existing business and you're looking to open up a branch location in Canada, you are eligible to transfer employees from other branches worldwide into Canada. You will have the ability to hire foreign workers through expansion and through growth. Having a business in Canada, whether it's an existing business, the branch location, or a new business startup, you will have the exposure to the U.S. market, and depending on your industry that you're in, duty-free exemptions you'll be qualified for that going to the U.S. as well as in Mexico. Of course, pre-COVID, we had a very strong employment market, very stable, but as we all know, globally, we are all going through a very uncertain time right now, but things are starting to bounce back here. Key thing for for applicant, spouse, and children is that they will have access to free healthcare, free education from elementary to high school, which I believe in some countries it's known as secondary school. Any child that is looking to go to college or university, their local admission fees the tuition fees will be the local prices versus the international fees. The business residency program, you will be eligible for permanent residence 12 months after arrival, and eligible for citizenship after 3 years of receiving your permanent residency. And what that means, 3 years, meaning 3 years of full residence in Canada. However, if you choose to travel back and forth the country of your residence, they are looking at as accumulated total of 3 years in a 5 to 6 year time frame. So the requirements for business residency, either you have an existing business ownership, which must be registered and must be at least 1 year old in your current country of residence. Now that's again if you're looking to open up a branch location. However, if you're looking to open up a new business, we need you to provide us your business experience or work experience in an executive management or supervisory or even skilled work role in the form of a CV, and we'll be able to determine if you are eligible for this program. Existing business profile, if again you are an existing business owner, or if you have a business plan from your country of residence or the operation for that matter. If you do not have an existing business, you are welcome to propose a business idea. And we will also be able to provide consulting services, business consulting services as part of this package. It's included in the package on any proposed idea you have, or we may be able to propose an idea to you based on your experience. You must provide proof of funds in the form of cash to fund the business setup and any further, operation to execute the business plan, and more importantly, to also be able to relocate. So the minimum net worth is about 250,000 USD. At the time of the approval of the business residency, guidelines will be issued for PR application approval process. So again, this is a business residency, and I'll get into it on the next slides ahead. But once you arrive here, or once you're approved, you will be given the guidelines for PR application process. You must be admissible to Canada. In other words, no criminal record and no medical condition. Now, as far as medical goes, for any applicants, whichever country they're applying from, there will be a Canadian approved medical center that they will be able to go there and have their medical done. They will also be informed that based on their medical condition, if they would be inadmissible or admissible. A big question that comes around is the IELTS. IELTS is the English-speaking verification, or French-speaking for that matter. So because it's a business setup, the requirements are very minimal. There is no set amount, but we are setting an amount of 5.0 because you need to, as a business owner, you need to be able to communicate with potential clients or even government officials when the time comes. The documents required are standard, current and valid passport. What we say is from the time of application, you should have at least a year left on your passport because for traveling purposes, it's about minimum of 6 months before expiry, you're allowed to travel. So for the approval process, we say have at least a year on your passport left. Attested copies of any birth certificates for yourself and your family. Proof of assets, as mentioned, for your net worth. If you do have to increase your net worth amount, if say you have investment in properties, you need to prove that you are the owner of those properties. Bank statements, 6 to 12 months. There's no set amount. It's just to verify that you have the cash available, but also to show that if there is, income coming in on a regular basis into your account. If you do not have that, it's okay. Sharing it with us, we will be able to guide you on what is required. Applying with your spouse, you need to have a marriage certificate. And if you have been divorced, you also need to provide a certificate for your divorce. Standard passport photos, Canadian passport photos, which you will be given that information. And again, when the time comes, medical report and security clearance. So jumping right into the programs that we're offering. For the existing branch location, existing business branch location or new business startup, our program is USD 57,750. What this covers, this package, is your immigration, the legal services, the business setup, legal services, all our professional fees, government fees going to the Canadian government. What is excluded from these fees are the medical, security clearance, IELTS, biometrics, or any attestations which are to be paid directly by the client from their country of residence. Included in this package is a virtual office and phone number because for this package we have to show a business address and a business number. We are also providing in this package a relocation service. So once a client has been approved, to help them with housing whether it's renting or purchasing, receiving their driver's license, their health card, any other document, government-related items here in Canada, we will be able to facilitate and help them with that. Importantly, help them with their school enrollment for their children, where they would like to live, what kind of education they want their children to have. We'll be able to help with all of that. As part of this package, we are also including in-person training to help you grow your business. And this is upon your arrival in Canada. Something very important, because of our network in Canada, we will be able to introduce you to a network associated with your industry, and to help you, expand on your business, grow your business. As mentioned before, ROC Citizenship's head office is in the UAE, in Dubai. So included in this price is the UAE VAT, value-added tax. We have done it this way so that paying taxes in UAE is a lot cheaper than paying tax in Canada. If payments are coming to Canada, it will be at 13%. However, using our head office in the UAE, your tax is a lot lower. Now, just here's a simplified chart of what's included, what's not included. So basically, the actual rate is 55,000 plus the UAE VAT of 2,750. What is included? So to get into a little bit more detail, your package includes your corporation setup, all the legal related to your corporation, your business setup, even if it's an existing business that you have. So the Canadian corporation setup, the legal shareholders agreement, and what's very important for this package is the business plan and the financial statements that we prepare here in Canada, because of the type of what the government is requiring, or what they're looking for is something which is a legitimate plan of expanding or building your business. This process is submitted to the Employment and Social Development Services of Canada. It's not to the Immigration Department. It first goes to the Employment and Social Development Services of Canada. They are basically the entity, federal government entity, that reviews your application and the business plan and the financial statements and says, okay, this individual is coming to help the Canadian economy by setting up a business. And we will also reflect that you're looking to hire a Canadian in the near future once you have your business set up. It does not mean that you're going to hire a Canadian immediately, but within a year, you have to be able to hire a Canadian. And we can have a further discussion offline for any of those interested in getting more details. Included in this package is the immigration processing. So once this, the step one is done, step two is actually submitting all of this for your work permit approval, and which is basically allowing you a residency. You get a 2-year, actually it's a 1+1, so it's a 2-year renewable work permit. And in that, in those 2 years, so after your 1 year of arrival, you then will be eligible to apply for your PR. So that these are items included. Not included, as mentioned earlier, your security clearance fee, medical clearance fee, IELTS, biometrics, any attestations. That is not included in this. You will be paying, or the client will be paying for this at their country of residence. Again, included is a virtual office address and work phone. This has to be shown on the business plan and the corporation information for the first stage of approvals. As mentioned before, your relocation services are included. In-person training session is included. Your access to the business network within Canada is included. We have also included the cost for the permanent resident application submission, which is conditional based on you meeting those guidelines. And we've also included all the professional fees associated with all the ourselves as well as our partners involved in this. We have a payment schedule, and our schedule is basically a deposit to sign up to sign up with Residency and engage in a contract. And the second to last slide I will be showing you is what will be the stages of payments. So right now, this is just a basic amount of step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, the amounts that are due. Step 5 is basically if you receive the PR approval, then you make that payment. If you do not receive a PR approval, you don't have to make that payment. However, you are allowed to renew your work permit for every 2 year for 2-year intervals. Next stage type of business is investing into an existing business. This amount is 194,250 USD. Similar as the previous program, however, this is investing into an existing business that is operating already. And this falls under various streams, the LMIA owner-operator stream, as well as a provincial nominee stream. The difference in the package with this is that you are investing into an existing business, so there is no virtual office or business phone number will already exist, and you won't need the virtual office. In person, you'll also receive in-person managing training session. That's to help you operate the business. Now, for all these programs, you have to be the owner, the operator of this business. If you are looking that, okay, you have an existing business in whichever country you're residing in, and you do not want to be in Canada all the time, you do not have to be in Canada all the time. You want to relocate your family, they can. You are not required to be here all the time. You can travel back and forth. The minimum for your work permit is just coming up to Canada, showing you are involved in the business and making some decisions, writing some checks, and you can go back. What that does is that from the PR point of view, when the time comes for application, if you are not eligible because you are traveling back and forth for your own other businesses that you may own, your spouse can be the main applicant and to apply for the PR. Stages for this, the actual amount is 185,000 USD, and the VAT amount, the UAE VAT is 9,250. Basic, same things are included as the previous slide, the business setup. And now also with this, we still have to incorporate your own corporation, even though you're buying an existing business. But we also have to do the legal documentation, and we will also need a business plan and financial statements as well for this. And what you're doing is by showing you're investing, you're also, we have to show that you will be the managing partner, director, if you are investing into an existing business where there is an existing partner in there. If you want to buy it right out 100%, you're welcome to do that as well. So I won't go through over all the details due to time, but similar as the previous slide, what's included. And again, the only difference is that in-person business managing training session is included in this. Steps are basically, we have 5 steps. We get your business intake form, we have to fill, you sign a contract with a Residency, you make your first deposit. The second step is the existing business or work experience verification, your existing financial statements and funds verification. We set up your corporation in Canada, and we set up your shareholder agreement. Second payment is made. So after step 2 is completed, then a payment is made. Third step is we prepare your business plan and your Canadian financial statement preparation. We set up your virtual office agreement, or if you are investing in an existing business, that's all done as well. Once this is completed, then you go into the step 3, payment completion. Step 4 is basically your medical clearance, security clearance, the immigration application process, because the approval for the business has come at steps 2 and 3. Step 4 is the actual immigration application process. And once you receive your approval for relocation, you will then make your payment, which will be the 4th payment. 12 months after arrival, and once you have met the PR guidelines, your 5th payment will be due. So again, you guys can contact us offline, email us, phone us to get more details. We'll be able to provide. So basically, that's about it. Our email address is info@rocksandship.com. Head office again is in UAE. Our phone number is located here. Canadian office and the phone number is located there as well. So we're more than welcome to answer any questions. I know it's fairly rushed, but time is of the essence. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Khalid. We'll now move on to the Q&As. Lavanya, can you take over?
Yes. First question is from Mayur. Hi, Mayur. Please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hi, Lavanya. Hi, Khalid.
Hi.
Yeah, so Khalid, I have a couple of questions. As you have mentioned the branch locations and all, so I would like to start with, you already cleared the investment requirement, but I want to know, when you say the branch office, is it just for us trading sector or service sector? What kind of business they can open a branch office with this? And is there any options, like for example, if anyone in trading business and they want to open their branch over there, so they get some like subsidies or government benefits, tax benefit in with the branch office in virtual, like they open a branch office, but it's a virtual office, not like physical office. So can you explain me that, like who can open and what are the criteria for that? For example, service sector is there, trading is there, manufacturing is there. Like we have one ceramic plant over here and we want to open a branch office for just a trading business. So what is the criteria for that?
Okay, so thank you for your question. Any industry, and I'm going to be blunt here, any legal industry is allowed to open up a branch here in Canada.
Okay.
Now, why this is set up as a virtual is that let's just use your example. You want to come here to Canada.
Right.
We can have you, before coming here, invest tons of money, open up this whole big office, big this, big that, showroom, etc.
Right.
And you don't know, you're not involved in that process of where your money's going. So, but this is the first stage where you can come in with the virtual office and your business number. You can operate from home. And our process does not end once you get relocation. We are in the position to continue to help you with your business.
Okay.
So now the next stage is, okay, I would like to have a showroom. I would like to have a warehouse. I would like to have this. So when we know that in advance, we will be able to prepare you and help you from a financial point of view to get the best bang for your buck, right?
Okay.
So if I do that, everything for you while you're not here, yeah, you're spending money, but you don't know where your money is going, right?
Right.
So we want to walk that walk with you, so that you are also educated in the process, right? So so you know exactly where every dollar is going, right?
Okay. The next question is that, like, if someone is like not educated, well educated, like, and they are not be able, they can do investment, but what about the IELTS criteria? Is there any criteria for RTS, like people should not need to opt that, because as they are not educated that much, and if they go for the IELTS, there is took a like year or 2 years to just get the like at least 4 band or 5 band. Is there any provision like where person don't have to go for English examination and they go with like just investment?
Okay, if an individual, there's a simplified answer, and there's a longer answer. So I'll just try to mix the both.
Okay.
If an individual is coming to just set up, they have a huge operation in India, okay,
right,
or anywhere in the world,
right,
and of course maybe their English is not the greatest. It's not a problem. They want to open up a branch. It's understood.
Okay.
So there's no minimum requirement. However, if an individual is coming to set up a new business and they are just going with the minimum, then that becomes important, because their involvement to build their business is going to be required. And if their English is not strong, it is going to, and I wouldn't say strong as in, okay, you need to have a 6 band, 7 band. They must be able to communicate, right?
Right.
So there is no set criteria for it. But
Okay.
it's enough that if you are opening up, let's say you are a construction manager and you come here to open up a consultancy, you have to be able to communicate at the the site level. So if you
All right.
can't do that, then it's going to be an issue. So there's no main amount, but they should be able to communicate. And we have a questionnaire, like we have a small test that we provide, and let them fill it out, and it will give us an indication. So.
Okay. So I have just two questions, and then I finish. The another one is like, how many employee do I need to hire in my business in Canada? Like, is there any set criteria for I can hire like this percentage of employee from India and this percentage from Canada?
So there's no percentage amount, and the reason there's no percentage amount is that if you're opening up a branch location and you have a specialty where you need a staff from India to come here, it doesn't matter. They can apply as well because of the specialty of your business or to help set up your business here. So if you have a big operation, now you should be able to hire one Canadian within the 1 year.
Okay.
However, we also have ways which we can discuss offline that can circumvent you needing to actually hire somebody physically.
Okay. What is what is tax bracket for service sector? Like if for example, I'm running a management consultancy and I open like same consultancy in Canada. So may I know the tax is applicable?
Well, the taxes are from a corporate standpoint. Typically, your taxes run in the range of about 15 to 17%. However, we also have accountants here, tax accountants here that will help you. In your first couple of years, you typically do not, when you set up a business here, you do not show huge profits because of all the expenses. And that will not go against you because it's known. So all this investment that you're making to migrate here, that's considered a business expense. So if you are making profit of, let's just say $100,000 in 1 year, minus the expense that you made to relocate, your tax bracket is very low to the point where you may not have to pay taxes in the first year or two. But you just need to show a tax, filing.
Okay, I have a last question.
Mayur, yes, Mayur, you'll have to, hold on to your questions because we've got a lot of people other questions as well.
Yeah,
and
you can reach out to him separately and then ask your questions.
Yeah, let's move on to the next question, Ravanya.
Yeah, so our next question is from Mukesh. Hi, Mukesh. Please unmute yourself and go ahead asking your question. I believe Mukesh is not here. We'll go to the next person. Ashok, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Hi, Ashok, please unmute yourself. We move on to the next.
Hello.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Ashok.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, sir. Yes, I want to ask you just one question. I want to work visa. You can give me suggestion.
Right.
In Canada.
Yeah, you can contact us on the email address given, and we can provide you information more for the work visa. Right now, we're trying to focus on the business stream. So work visa is on a different, there's a whole other explanation for that. So feel free to email us. I'll pull up the slide again with our email address. Just feel free to email us on that email, info@rockcitizenship.com.
Okay, we move on to our next question. Kushal, you can unmute yourself and ask a question.
Hey, Khalid.
Hi, Kushal. How are you?
Hi, doing great. Thanks for the insight. I have one query. We are actually running a turnkey interior business and a commercial real estate consultancy business in India. We have offices at 3 locations in India, and I want to set up a branch in Canada. So as you have been consulting so many businesses, my question is, what is the kind of scope of an agency coming up in interiors in Canada and working there? Real estate, I know real estate, we are already doing a couple of deals in a year. I have connects. What about interiors?
So when you say interiors, you're talking about interior fit up, like construction, correct?
I'm talking about, yeah, turnkey interiors, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, that's a very good business right now. I myself, I was 10 years in the construction business, and we are also involved in real estate development here. So it's not an issue. Actually, it's a needed industry. So for you coming in, basically, you will come in as a construction company, and you can actually be your own clients. You don't have to have clients from outdoor. So if you want to, you need clients, separate clients. We will help you with that. We can help you, introduce you to different contractors where you can get some subcontracting to start off. We also, but however, if you're in the real estate, we can also provide you advice of jumping into some real estate where you can actually use your own company to conduct the construction.
Okay, Khalid, I'll connect you one-to-one through IREX, and then we'll be in touch. I have more questions to
Thank you. I will
discuss. Thank you so much. Thank you, Khalid.
Lavanya, let's do one last question before we wrap
Yes.
up.
Hi, Vishal. You can go ahead and ask your question. You can unmute yourself. I guess Vishal is not available. I'll move on to the next one. Guru, I've unlocked you. You can ask your question. Hi, Deepak. You can ask your question. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi, Khalid.
Hey.
Actually, my question is that if I make an investment in the existing business over there, do I need to actively involved in managing that business? And the second one is is there any maximum age limit for that?
Okay, thank you, Deepak, for your question, or two questions. So on paper, we need to show your involvement. Your involvement can also occur virtually. So in other words, if you are residing in this, you want to reside somewhere else, again, bank accounts, you will have to open up a bank account in your name, and you'll have the main signer. So if you plan on traveling or living somewhere else, you will still need to show that you're operating that business, and we'll be able to help you set up in that way, okay? So it shows that you are doing that. As far as age, now again, the retirement age in Canada goes from 60 to 65. So again, they're going to look at mobility. Do you have the mobility? Are you an active person? So age, I'm not going to say there's a limit, but I'm going to say that it more relates to mobility and the capability of running your business. So, and that's variable by person. So one thing I want to add to everybody, Lavanya, before cutting off, I will add something else. But Deepak, if you have anything else, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. So for everybody, just to also let you know that we at Rock Citizenship, we are preparing and working on a real estate development work permit residency program. There is no passive investment allowed, no residency program with passive investment allowed in Canada. However, we are working on some programs where we are preparing a business operation along with real estate for individuals to invest in real estate as well as get their residency. That program will be coming hopefully in the next month. And again, just connect with us through IREX, and we'll be able to share that information with you guys.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Khalid, for such an insightful presentation. Our next speaker for today is Andres Gutierrez. He is an investment migration advisor for CSB Group and Malta's Sotheby's International Realty. He will be presenting on Malta residency by investment during COVID-19 pandemic. Over to you, Andres. Please go ahead and you can start your presentation.
Brilliant. Excellent, Rohan, and thanks very much. I'm going to share my screen now. Please let me know if you can see and if...
Yes, we can see it. You can go ahead.
Perfect. Just give me 1 second because... Just give me 1 second, please. Okay, perfect. So... Okay, can you see the entire screen now?
Yes, we can see the not the entire screen. We can see the screen split, you know, with the CSV, and we can see your comments as well.
That's very weird. Okay, just let me do it the normal way, and let me reshare now. And we'll start back. Screen sharing.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Full screen
Okay,
now.
perfect. Excellent. Perfect. There it is. Full screen now, right?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Well, thanks very much. Sorry for that technical inconvenience. Now we're going here to speak about getting EU citizenship and residence while navigating the COVID-19 pandemic without needing India in this case. We're just basically talking a little bit more about first presenting our company CSP Group. We are based in Malta since over 30 years in the financial service industry, and we're regulated by various financial and service authorities in Malta, like the Malta Gaming Authority, Malta Financial Service Authority, the IIP agency, MRVP agency for citizenship and residence, and so on. We hold another 3 brands. One is Vacancy Center, which is our recruitment arm, Reachus for co-working spaces, and Malta Sotheby's International Realty. This last one for luxury properties within the real estate market. Our company core services are for private clients, investment migration, what we're going to be speaking today, real estate, relocation, and then corporate service, tax and legal, and regulated industries. Basically, we cover the whole spectrum from company formation, international taxation, and obviously then all what is cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and iGaming. A little bit about me, myself. I've been in the investment migration industry for the past 5 to 6 years. I started in a government advisory firm, have advised hundreds of clients in the most sought after citizenship and residence programs. I myself, I am a global citizen. I am a multiple passport holder, have lived over 3-4 different countries, and also have an international family, to be honest with you. So basically, I do not talk the talk, but I also have walked the walk and have lived in Argentina, Spain, Malta, and the UK. Basically, what we do at CSP Group, we offer citizenship and residence planning advice, and we cover various programs: EU residence, Malta, Portugal, and Spain; citizenship programs in the EU, Malta and Cyprus; Caribbean citizenship; and other programs like Montenegro, Ireland, and Vanuatu, which will come after. But today we're going to focus actually in the officially name, basically, of Malta, which is a Repubblica ta Malta, which we like to call the gem of the Med. And what I would like to do now, I would like to show a 1-minute video from Malta Sotheby's. Rohan, Lavanya, please let me know if it doesn't work well, and I will skip it through. So you have a little bit more of a sense of what Malta has to offer.
We can't hear this.
Okay. You cannot hear it, Lavanya, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's just basically pass to the next to the country overview, because if it is not working, that's fine. Give me just 1 second. Okay, apologies for that technical inconvenience. We moved to the country overview of Malta, and at the end of the day, just wanted to give you a feel of what Malta has to offer in that short video. But at the end of the day, what is Malta and where it is? I mean, Malta is a small country, especially compared to Canada or to India, with its 1.3 billion inhabitants. We have less than 500,000 actually. We are part of the Commonwealth. Malta is comprised by two islands, Malta and Gozo. We are part of the European Union, part of the Schengen area and Commonwealth. We're strategically located, as we're going to see later, in the middle of the Mediterranean, and we speak English, Maltese obviously, and also Italian is spoken. It is a very welcoming island, and it basically has a big expat community. Malta is located in the center of the Mediterranean. It has been basically, it is 3 hours and 15 minutes from London, 4 hours from Moscow, Dubai, New York. I mean, it's a great place to be honest, in Malta. So now that we have it a little bit more on the map, I would like to explain why Malta is such a safe and a great harbor for choose, citizenship or residence, that we're going to see later. And Malta, at the end of the day, has first-class healthcare. According to the World Health Organization, is being ranked within the top 5 health systems worldwide. It has been one of the less impacted countries by the COVID-19 pandemic. Obviously, the fact that we're an island helps, but we had 584 cases, 465 have been recovered, 6 deaths, and in terms of deaths by millions, we are 4th in the entire world. So obviously, I mean, being an island with a small population, it helps, and it helps to make control and disease control easier. In terms of the economy, which is the second point, we have a strong and stable economy. It had a growth of 6.8% in 2018, around 5% in 2019, and it was forecasted to grow at a 4.5 to 5% rate during this year. Obviously now, with the COVID-19 pandemic, like happens in the rest of the world, we are a little bit more, all the forecasts have been changed, as we're going to see. But 3 weeks ago, basically, Moody's and Fitch, the agency's ratings, they have issued their ratings for Malta. They have said that Malta's rating, it is stable. Moody's has given us an A2 rating and Fitch an A+, which it is a great thing actually, because it was in the middle of the pandemic. So it's very stable economy within the European Union. As we saw, it is strategically located, and obviously here you can have access to world-class education with free education for children, and also university for multi-citizen. Finally, as Malta in the European Union, it will benefit from all the measures taken by the European Union to overcome the recession. It has a very low debt ratio with 40% from the GDP as well. Now, at the end of the day, what we're going to talk here is we're going to focus on residence, but we're also going to talk the citizenship and investment program. As Indian nationals, as our colleague earlier today was saying, you cannot have dual citizenship unless you resign for it, and then you apply, if you're outside India, for an OCI card. And I have advised many Indian clients that they were living in Singapore, in Dubai, or in London, that this was the route that they would take. And I have another ones that they are living in India, they are based in India, they don't have intentions to move out of India in the short term. So in the long term, so they would just apply for a residence program. So what we're going to talk here now, it is about the Malta Residence and Visa Program, or what is also called the Malta Golden Visa, like the Portugal, Spain, or Greek Golden Visas. At the end of the day, as we were saying before, this is the best option for Indians resident in India, because clients, applicants, they can get residence without the need to leave India or resign Indian citizenship. Again, if they are living abroad and they want to resign Indian citizenship and apply for an OCI card, that's more than fine. Now, at the end of the day, what we want to focus now, next few slides, it is about the benefits of the multi-MRVP program, which basically you can include family members. And when I say family members, I'm talking about big families. I'm talking about that there is no age restrictions, and also parents and grandparents of the main applicant or the spouse can be included as long as they are retired and financially dependent on that main applicant. So those big family structures that we have, they can apply as dependents for the Malta Golden Visa. Children, they also need to be financially dependent on the main applicant. The processing time, it is relatively quick. It takes around 6 to 8 months. Once it is approved, the investments are shown and the residence cards are issued. These are valid for 5 years and they are renewable for another 5 years. So it is long-term residence. It is certainly from the very beginning, there are not renewals in the middle. So basically all applicants will get their 5 years residence card that can be renewed prior to the expiry. Now, something that is quite interesting as well in terms of benefits is that all the process can be done remotely. Also, we can submit the application without you don't having to travel to Malta. So we will start the application, we'll do our KYC, we'll advise you on the requirements of the program, we'll collate all the documents, we'll submit the application. The application gets processed, it is done a due diligence, and once we get the approval, that is the moment that the applicants will need to travel to Malta. And that is the moment that the investment would need to be made in Malta. So there is no investment like happens with the Dominica programs we're going to see later with Duncan. Basically, there is no investment until the moment that there is an approval. So in that sense, there is no capital at risk. So there is no need to travel until the approval of the file. And there is no need to show proof of the investment until the approval of the file. Different thing is that you like one property, you have already chosen it, you want to buy it, you buy it now, and we submit the application with the purchase or with the deed register in the land registry. That's more than fine. But if you don't want to, if you want to take your time, that is not a problem and that is not an issue. So this is a great moment to start this sort of applications because we can do everything remotely and you will need to travel to Malta. Let's say if you start in June, by the end of the year between November or December to take you back to give your biometrics. Now we talk about investments, basically, which sort of investment, because this is a residence by investment program. Which sort of investment do we need? Well, basically the Maltese MRVP or Golden Visa is a 3-layered investment program, which requires a real estate investment, a government bond investment, and a government contribution. It is very flexible, as we are going to see. The real estate investment can be either a purchase or a rental. Now, as you can see, there are two numbers there, let's put it that way, because if you purchase a property in Gozo, which is the second island, the sister island of Malta, if you purchase a property in Gozo or in the south of Malta, the minimum investment requirement will be of 270,000 euros. From there up. And if you buy it in what is Malta, which is basically the center of Malta, where the capital Valletta is and so on, the minimum investment, the minimum value will be 320,000 euros. Now, you can also opt to rent. Perhaps you want to start renting and then in 1 or 2, 3 years, you want to buy. That is not a problem, you can swap. Basically, in the rental, the minimum requirement would be 10,000 euros per year if you rent in Gozo or in the south of Malta, or 12,000 euros per year elsewhere in Malta. The important thing is that these investments, this rental agreement, they need to be kept during 5 years, the same as the property, and the government bond investment, which if it is self-financed, it is for, the government bond investment, sorry, is for 250,000 euros, or that can be self-financed, or there can be a financed option at a flat fee. Again, it is very, very flexible. As we can see, you also have a government contribution of 30,000 euros, which includes an application fee of 5,500 euros or 6,000 euros, depending where the property is based, plus parent dependence or grandparents' dependence eventually. But as you can see, I mean, it is a program that when you look at the whole thing, It allows you to diversify the investment if you want to buy property in government bonds. But if you cannot allow that $500,000, those 600,000, and you want to reduce your capital outlay, that is not a problem, because you can rent a property where you're going to be able to live if you want to relocate or to enjoy for your trips into Malta. And you can also finance those government bonds, which gives you basically in total, all in all, a capital outlay for those 5 years of around 165,000 euros. Very important thing as well, this investment, as we said, they will give you any residence card in Malta, valid for 5 years. You're able to live in Malta as much as you want, and you're able to travel within the Schengen area without the need to apply for a visa. So for example, if you want to travel to India, from India to Malta, spend a couple of weeks there, and then travel around Europe, that is not a problem. You have visa-free access. And if you're effectively going to relocate into Malta, start your own business in Malta, that we can assist you on that. And then you want to travel and you want to go to Madrid, to Paris or Portugal, that is not a problem as well. There is no need to apply for a visa with a e-residence card, like happens with the Portuguese Golden Visa program, as we've seen before. So it is, as you've seen, it is quite an interesting program. Now I'm going to swap into what is the citizenship program, and I will be happy to answer any questions in the Q&A session. Malta has also its citizenship program, direct citizenship, which is called the individual investor program. This is very suitable for those Indian nationals which are living abroad, which are basically based in Singapore, Dubai, London, that they are wanting to get EU citizenship. They are happy to relinquish their Indian nationality and apply for the OCI card. And I'm going to go quite fast into this because time restrictions basically, and I want to answer your questions. And basically the benefits of the Malta IRP program is that you will have citizenship and a passport for life, certificates of citizenship and a passport valid for 10 years, obviously renewable. You can include family members, parents, and children under 26 years old. Gives you visa-free access to over 180 countries, including ETA to Canada, ESTA to the US, and you can work and live in the European Union. Basically, you do not have to work in Malta. You can just basically get a Maltese passport and go and relocate into Paris, into Portugal, into Madrid, into any other country. Now, this as well requires an investment, a 3-year layered investment, as we're going to see, which it is a real estate, government bond, and government contribution. And the property purchase is of a minimum 350,000 euros or a rental of 16,000 euros per year during 5 years, government bond investment of 150K, and a government contribution of 650,000 euros plus dependents. There is a very stringent due diligence in place. The entire process takes around 12 to 14 months. First, we apply for your residence, for the residence card. So from that moment on, you will be able to live in Malta and travel visa-free access, and then we'll apply for the citizenship as part of the IIP process. Again, direct citizenship in 12 to 14 months. This year, the program will be revised because we are getting to the cap. It has been very successful, and it is actually the gold standard of the investment migration industry. And what it is envisaged, it is that these financial requirements are going to change. Probably it's going to be more onerous. So drop me a line separately, and we can advise you on this if you are interested. Now, these are the two main options in order to get citizenship and residence into Malta. And now what I want to do, I want to show you a little bit more about the real estate market in Malta, the price increases, and a couple of properties which are very, very typical and very, very traditional in Malta. So what we have here is it is basically the views of Valletta. Malta is an absolutely beautiful country, very, very interesting. And in terms of the real estate, which is what we're going to be speaking now, what we're talking about? We're talking about that the last few years, there has been a prices increase. But at the end of the day, we want to know where house prices in Malta have raised around 17% in 2018 and approximately 11% in 2019. And yeah, last year. Obviously, the biggest, the bacon or the biggest share of these goes to the palazzos and villas, because they are those more expensive luxury properties that they have more or less 16% approximate of capital appreciation. Then we have the terrace houses, and then, you know, the apartments in maisonettes on around 7 to 11%. This is due because this property, they are smaller, and sometimes they are, like in the apartments, they are basically new builds and all that stuff. They are people just basically to live in a mall that has an incredible atmosphere in order to go there to invest not only in this, but also iGaming, corporate structuring, and regulated financial industries have been very successful. Therefore, the need of apartments and masons to host expats, it has been very, very important. Now I would like to show you a couple of properties because now we have 3-4 minutes, if not mistaken. So I would like to show you a couple of properties. This property is called Palazzo Vittoriosa. It dates back to the 1500s. It is an amazing property. It is one of the most iconic and historic properties that dates back to the Great Siege of Malta, which is an incredible part of Maltese past. And basically, here's what you have. I mean, you have a property where you can see just basically the typical ceilings, typical walls, but at the same time, it is very, very modern. I mean, it has been exclusively refurbished. It is located in one of the most sought after areas in Vittoriosa. It is on walking distance from bars, restaurants. It has over 1,000 square meters or 11,000 square feet of living space. Basically, you have your garage, your 2 floors, your swimming pool, master bedroom with a separate walk-in wardrobe and spa. It has total privacy. It is a beautiful, it's an amazing property. Now we have basically some views of what you can see. You can see there what you see at the back is Valletta. That is obviously the swimming pool. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful views. It also has a wine cellar, a technical control room. It has been masterly converted, to be honest with you, and finished using top quality material and appliances. It is a very expensive property, price at request. And then we have the alfresco dining area, where you can just basically sit back, chill, relax with your family, with friends. You can have your 180 degrees views of the capital city of Valletta and see that, which is a historical part in the Calcara Marina, which you can see. The second property that we have, it is an iconic villa. It is a different thing, a different feel, as you're going to see what we have there. Is more traditional. More that has a lot of Italian influences. At the end of the day, it is, you can go to Sicily, you can take a ferry, and in an hour and a half, you're in the south of Italy. So basically, here's just you are living the presence whilst enjoying Maltese history. I mean, this property that we are seeing here, it is a townhouse which is located close by in the same Vittoriosa Marina in the Grand Harbor, like the Palazzo Vittoriosa. It dates over 200 years old. It is exquisite and meticulously renovated. Again, this one is more, you know, more secure and more traditional, more another type of feeling. But I wanted to show you this. You can see as well the walls, which are the original walls, the original stones. 5 bedrooms like the other one. These 5 bedrooms, they are all en suite. And all rooms, they are, you know, with original details and so on and so forth. It has a central courtyard and a 100 square meter terrace with an infinity pool. Now, all of this, it is very nice. You have seen, you know, these properties, the ways in to get Maltese residency if you are an Indian national living in India, the most convenient way, or perhaps Maltese citizenship if you are living abroad and wanting to apply for an OCI card. But at the end of the day, how we can help you? At the end of the day, we have unbiased, customer-centric, and personalized advice. I mean, if for whichever reason you are not happy with the Maltese programs, we can look into our portfolio and advise you on the best program for your situation and your investment threshold. As well, we can look into the tax implications of a move. We give a holistic approach to private client service. thanks to our setup with CSP Group and Malta Sotheby's. And obviously we have qualified lawyers and experienced team of professionals. We have one of the first companies to be granted with the approved license status for process multi-citizenship applications. We have the license number 13 out of 190 of almost 200 that we have now. So we are quite experienced in the field, as you may imagine. And basically our team, myself as your advisor, our CEO of CSP Group and Malta Sotheby's, Michael J. Samet, and Franklin Kakia, the managing partner of CSP Group Legal. So, I mean, right now I'm going to leave the door open to questions. Here you have my email address. You can contact me and find me on LinkedIn and in any of the other networks. And please get back to me for any confidential and personalized investment questions.
Okay. Thank you, Andres. We'll quickly move on to Q&A. Lavanya, can you take over? Yeah.
Yes. Our first question is from Lalit. Hi, Lalit. Please unmute yourself and ask your question.
First of all, thank you, Lavanya, to giving me an opportunity to ask a question. And Mr. Andres, how are you?
All good, Lalit, and you?
Yeah, I'm also fine, thank you. In your second option, you know, individual investor program, IIP.
Yes.
I think there is some mistake in, that is contribution amount is 650,000 euro. Are you sure?
Of course, I'm sure. It is. Those are the legal requirements. It is a 3-layer investment: a property purchase, government bond investment, and a government contribution. 650,000 euros for the main applicant, and then you have additional fees for spouse dependent, adult children, and minor children, which can be either 25 or 50K. But
okay,
yeah,
because in earlier option, it was contribution was only 30,000 euros.
Because this one, the Malta IIP, it is citizenship, it is direct citizenship. This one, the Malta IIP, it is residence that eventually after 7 years can lead to citizenship.
And see, you have a very lovely scheme of rental option also, which I don't think any other country is having. So how to justify this rental option? Can you just enlighten it deeper this thing?
I mean, it's very, very simple. So the first thing that we'll do, we'll just basically work with yourself, with the client, which is basically do our onboarding process, KYC process. Then we start our engagement agreement. We start preparing the application. We submit the application, and as the rental agreement or the purchase does not need to be shown until the moment that the application is approved, we will present. I mean, if you want to do it before, it is before. But what we will do is we'll present you with we'll present the client with different rental properties that he may want, and then that rental agreement it is signed by the landlord and by the tenant, the applicant, and that rental agreement it is submitted with the rest of the proof of investment after the approval. And basically that's it. The agreement needs to be made for at least 1 year. So that is something that is very important and needs to be maintained during the 5 years. So that is something that is very, very important. If for whichever reason the rental it is not renewed, like if you disinvest the government bonds, if you have bought 250K of government bonds and you disinvest them, you lose the right to have the e-residence card, like it will happen in any other residence by investment program. So yeah, I mean, it is simple as that. Then if after 1 year or 2 years, you want to say, okay, fine, I mean, I like Malta, I want to buy a property to invest because there is really good opportunities, that is not a problem. You can swap, you can stop renting and then start buying. That is not an issue as long as you buy for over the minimum threshold.
To be on more clear side, what I understand, without purchasing any property or without any government bond investment or without any donation like contribution, can we choose only legal option and go ahead? Am I right?
No. It is a 3-layered investment. The 3 investments, they need to be made. So this just for the audience in as well to clarify and to be clear, for the RVP, for the Golden Visa, for the AAP, the citizenship, the 3 investments need to remain need to be made in order to obtain citizenship or residence.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Let's move on to the next
next
question.
question. Mark, please ask your question. You can unmute yourself. Okay, Mark is not. Yeah, Mark.
There is.
Hi, Andre. I wanted to understand in the MRVP, you have the finance option. So, so what is that amount that I would like to know is the first question. And the second question is that how does the residency get converted to a citizenship, if at all it can be?
Not a problem. So basically, going to your first question, the government bond investment can be, as we said, and as you've seen, self-finance. So basically, you made the purchase of those government bonds that is made through wealth management that will refer to one or two that we normally work with. Or this government bond investment can be financed. That financed option, it is made as well by the wealth advisor into the wealth management company. It carries a fee of normally around 50,000 euros. It is a flat fee. It needs to be paid after approval. And then the wealth management company, they issue the certificates. The applicant does not make any profit, obviously, on that, because it is a financed option. But at the same time, if the government bonds they go down and they lose value.
No, I understand. So this is like a lump sum fee of 50,000. It's non-refundable.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm clear with that. And the second question, how does that lead to a citizenship?
Eventually, after 7 years, applicants may be able to or may apply for citizenship in Malta. That is a citizenship application that it is granted, obviously, like in any other country, by the government of Malta. It is basically needs to follow certain criteria, like passing the Maltese language test. When it comes to this, I always say the same thing. If the applicant has the means to, and it is willing to, I always would recommend the IIP program, because not only it is faster, but there is also no other extra requirements, let's put it that way. But it is very important to note that in any other, not only Malta, but in any other country like Portugal, like Spain or whatever, when applying for citizenship after getting residence by investment in these cases, the applicants will need to comply with the national laws, which is
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Andres. That was a great presentation. Moving on to our next presenter for today, Mr. Duncan G. Stove. He is a Dominican lawyer and registered citizenship by investment agent at Stove & Co. He is going to present on Dominican citizenship by investment program surviving COVID-19. Duncan, over to you. You can go ahead and start your presentation.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Just afternoon. Just sharing my screen there now. Are we there? Afternoon, morning, everyone. Are we there?
Yes, everyone's here. You can just switch to your presentation. We can just see your screen right now.
Sorry, you okay? This message.
Yeah, this is your main screen.
Okay, very well. Well, as was indicated, my topic is the Dominican Citizenship by Investment program. In the face of COVID, of course, I just thought as a start, as an introduction, I would, is my slide up?
No, it's not. 1 second. Yeah, Lavanya, can you play the presentation?
I can share the screen.
Sure. So by way of introduction, I just thought I would give a brief historical background to the Dominican Citizenship by Investment program. It started in 1993, and of course, by the calculation, it is one of the oldest and most trusted programs that we have in today's business. The program, of course, started as a need. You had a situation where Dominica was primarily driven by an agricultural-based economy. Back then, it was bananas, and those of you who know the history of Lomé, the Lomé Convention, with the preferential treatment that the ACP countries got. When we say ACP, we're talking about the African, Caribbean, and Pacific countries, the preferential treatment that they had on the European market, in particular, Dominica. In the case of bananas, the preferential treatment that we had, of course, that was the main driving force behind our economy then, production of bananas, shipping bananas to Europe. And because of the challenges of preferential shares of trade in Europe, we had to find something else, and we moved on to the offshore economy, the development of offshore. And the main pillar in the offshore being the CBI, which is the Citizenship by Investment Program, when we decided to diversify from the banana into tourism and the Citizenship by Investment Program coming out of the offshore. Yes, so as I was indicating, the Dominican Citizenship by Investment started in 1993. The diversification from a predominantly agricultural economy, moving into the area of tourism and offshore. And one of the key pillars out of the offshore, the Citizenship by Investment Program. Well, I was appointed as an agent way back in 1999, just around the time when I was wrapping up with law school and moving into my own firm there about 2001. I decided to focus on a few areas, and the CBI being one of them. And still today, the CBI is a main area that we deliver services from our office, Stowe & Co. And of course, 1999 to now, it means that we are one of the oldest persons in the business of the CBI in Dominica, and of course in the Caribbean and the West Indies. And of course, with that type of experience comes a lot of knowledge and skills that we bring to bear on the job as we deliver to our clients and agents all over the world for persons who are involved in CBI and need the services of a registered agent and want to apply for a citizenship on behalf of their client from Dominica. And there we have it. Over the years, we have carried on, we have delivered, and for the past 3 years, Dominica has been adjudged the #1 or the best in the business, best in the industry. And we were ranked by the Professional Wealth Manager magazine that's published by the Financial Times of London. And we were, on the last occasion, that was sometime in around August last year, the criteria in which we trumped it and had a CBI index of 91% in the CBI index was the areas of minimum outlay, ease of processing, due diligence analysis, and the lack of mandatory travel. Of course, the minimum investment outlay, when we talk about the minimum investment outlay, by way of elaborating, we have a basic investment of about $100,000. The ease of processing, you have just about minimum, say 60 days, 90 days, thereabout, 60 to 90 days. So it's a very quick turnaround time because our program is very streamlined. And of course, in terms of the due diligence, it is felt that we have one of the best in terms of testing and checking on applicants through third parties. And of course, our fingerprint processing and the collection process of biometrics data. It is felt that we have a very robust and rigid due diligence. And this also tops us as being the #1 in the industry. The lack of mandatory travel. You have a situation where some of the competitors, what you'd find with the competitors is that you have to visit the country at a particular time or from time to time, or in the process of application, you have to do a trip to the country where you're applying to. And of course, at the moment, we have a total of 140 countries and territories which we can travel visa free. Some of the key benefits for the applying for the Dominica project, you have, as I indicated, you have visa free travel to over 120 countries, just about 140 at the present time. The application process, as I indicated, is just about 90 days. And from time to time, we have difficulties with clients because we advertise and we promote that you can have your passport in your hand within 90 days. And well, they tell you, well, how comes, why? And they ignore the fact that, okay, in the process, they had issues with their documents, that maybe the bank might have requested a further check on something, or the CBIU wanted some clarification on something at the request of the due diligence company. And it can run you well over the 90 days, of course, if you had delays in the application process. You could run maybe into 4 or 5 months. I've had situations where you run into 6 months. And the client ignores the fact completely that there were requests that some of the, for example, a check is being made by a due diligence company, and you said that you went to a particular school, and the school is having some difficulties in clarifying some of the statements that were made on your application, or you claim that you live in a particular area. They can't find it. They can't find you because some of the due diligence companies do go and check. You say that you are a manager at a particular company, and they check in with the company, and the information that you gave does not actually match, you know? So you have situations like that when we're talking about the 90 days. So, and also in terms of one of the other benefits, the no travel, residency requirements, and the citizenship can be passed on to future generations. And one of the points that I think I need to highlight there on the Dominica program, that the Dominica Citizenship by Investment program, it's not a residency by investment program, but it is a citizenship by investment program. So we know that some countries, you start off with a residency, or what they offer is a residency by investment. In many countries all over that are in the business of a residency, the Dominica program is a citizenship by investment. And of course, the program has been growing from strength to strength. In recent times, we have signed on to agreements between countries for visa-free travel between countries like Brazil, Russia, Azerbaijan, and China. And most recently, last year, we opened an embassy in the UAE. It is situated in Abu Dhabi, primarily for persons who are citizens and need service in the areas. Of course, the areas of development. The areas of development have been primarily in the hotel industry. That's under, I'm using the CBI funds. Hotel industry, we have so far 2 hotels that have been completed under the program, namely the Jungle Bay Eco Villas and the Kempinski. There are 4 hotels now under construction, and these are the Tranquility Beach Residences, the Secret Bay Residences, the Anichi Resorts and Spa, and the Sanctuary Rainforest Eco Resort and Spa. The CBI funds have been used in other areas other than hotel development, and these other areas have been housing. There has been a lot of funds channeled into the development of housing by the government, and we have had also the funds channeled into the National Employment Program for Development, and we have also what we call a Yes We Care program, where a substantial amount of funds from the CBI have been used by the government to assist and protect and help the elderly. In the issue of resilience, this is one of the key areas that we're dealing with. The survival of our people in Dominica post-Maria has been, if you want to say maybe the test piece, or it was the first run, the test piece, I would think, for the CBI program, because the program is portal-based. So you do not have to be in an office. You do not have to be in the CBI office to ensure that the program continues. So you will see some images from the Hurricane Maria, images from Hurricane Maria, where Dominicans and the CBI program were really put to the test. Hurricane Maria images a few days after, and Hurricane Maria a few days after. These are post-Maria images that we just saw. We just saw houses indicating the resilience of the program. So during Hurricane Maria, whilst we were mopping up and reorganizing ourselves and rebuilding our lives, the program continued. It never stopped. And in the light of the COVID-19, we're still alive. We're still processing applications. We're still continuing the program because we are portal-based at the moment. And yes, there was lockdown in Dominica during the COVID. Yes, there was curfew in Dominica during the COVID. But guess what? Notwithstanding the lockdown and notwithstanding the COVID, we continued. We continued to ensure that the program survived. And you will see there what the real figures are from COVID. I have a slight issue there in actually calling out the results. But our COVID results are on the screen. We just had 16 cases, and to date, well, 16 cases, no deaths, And to date, we are a COVID-free country. So yes, the curfew continues. Yes, there is lockdown on a Sunday. Yes, some people still do not go to their offices. However, the CBI continues to process applications. Surviving of COVID, a test of our resilience in face of Maria, a test of our resilience in Dominica in face of COVID. The available options, I'm applying for citizenship in Dominica. You have the direct contribution to Economic Diversification Fund, and with the minimum investment is $100,000, or you can go through a real estate program, which has been, of course, endorsed by the government, and you have a minimum investment of $200,000 into that approved project. How do you apply? Step one, you choose an authorized agent, and I would imagine that if you're coming in tomorrow, you would choose Duncan's Toast & Co. as one of your more experienced agents in the business. Step two, you prepare and submit your application forms guided by your agent. And step three, you await your results from the CBIO. And step four, you receive a letter with confirming that your application has been initially successful. Step five, you make an investment payment to the option that you selected, if it's going to go to the fund or it's going to go through a program. And step six, you receive your certificate of naturalization. And step seven, your authorized agent will process your application for you at the immigration department. And of course, you will instruct your authorized agent where the passport should be sent. I'd like to thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you,
and
Duncan.
Welcome the questions.
That was a very nice presentation. We'll move on to Q&A very quickly, whoever has questions. Lavanya?
Yes, our first question is from Prakash. Prakash, please unmute yourself. I think Prakash, please unmute yourself. Okay, our next question is from Ashok. Ashok, please unmute yourself. Lalit, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, hi Duncan. Thank you.
Hi, hi. How are you doing?
Do you have any authorized agent in Asia Pacific, like in India?
Do I have any authorized agent in India?
Yes.
No, not at the moment. Yeah, I do work with sub-agents. Our office do work and have worked with sub-agents globally well, since we've started. That's how we have run our office. Persons come to us. Sometimes applicants come to us directly. Actually, the first applicant that I had from India, he actually flew to Dominica. He made a... It's funny how people choose agents. But he said to me, I said, how did you come by us? He said, well, I went through the list and I knew Tim Duncan as a basketballer and I saw the name Duncan. So I said, okay, I'm going to come to you. It's just all kinds of stories as to how persons get to you and how they decide.
As I know, Dominica is a beautiful country.
Sorry?
But still, as I know, Dominica is a beautiful country. But
yes,
to get into more details, what is the main benefits of getting into Dominica?
The main benefits of getting into Dominica?
Yeah.
You mean doing the Dominica program?
Yeah. Other than visa-free travel to more than 100 countries, what is the real benefit of staying in Dominica?
the real benefit of staying in Dominica is it's up to the applicant into which area they might want to choose to do their development. Some persons have decided to develop. Well, most persons have developed their or chose their line of development along the hotel development line. But from my experience, most of the applicants tell you that they want a passport to get into some other area, maybe for their children, so then their children can get a better quality of life, so they can get into somewhere like the UK, and the children can go to school in the UK. This, from my experience, this is the main thrust.
Do you have any treaty with USA?
Sorry?
Do you have any kind of treaty or agreement with USA for
we do not have a treaty with the USA. No.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Our next question is from Nidhi. Hi, Nidhi. Please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah. Hi, Duncan. How are you?
I'm okay, and you?
Yeah. I'm okay. Thank you. So thank you for the insightful presentation. So I wanted to ask you, like, how much time does it take to process the citizenship application in Dominica?
I have processed an application in a little as 2 months. It has happened. But as I was indicating earlier, most times or oftentimes, persons have issues with the application because there might be some issue, clarification with the bank in terms of source of funds, source of wealth, that type of thing. Or you might have a situation where the due diligence is on the road doing a check and cannot find the persons whom the applicant may have recommended as a recommender, or as they cannot find the information to corroborate some of what the applicant may have put in terms of maybe a company that the applicant was involved in. Those type of issues arise. Or sometimes you might have a situation where the applicant, some of the documents that the applicant might have submitted by the time oftentimes you find a situation where they submit a document and that document has expired. So the government says that, okay, we need a police report for you and it has to be 3 months. The police report comes in to us maybe a few days or a few weeks after the expiration date, you know, that type of thing. And we tell the applicant, okay, you know, you need to give us another, give us an updated or current version of that particular document, because that document is outdated. So as a result of that, you have some sort of delay. So
okay,
I've done applications within 2 months, but on an average, we can maybe say 3-4 months.
Okay, and what is the rate of return on the investment?
The rate of return on investment is maybe like about, well, you're talking about your hotel, or because you have two streams. You have one stream where it goes directly into a fund. You can maybe say it is a misnomer to an extent, because it's referred to as an investment, but it goes directly into a fund. That would be your $100,000. But in terms of where you have you've invested into a hotel, it might be something like in the region of about 2 point something.
Okay, and do we need to initially open a bank account like for other countries?
No, you do not need to initially open a bank account. Your funds could be transferred direct to the government, or in the case of the company, it goes to their account.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you so much, Duncan.
You're welcome.
So Duncan, we had another question.
Sure.
What is the timeline for the KYC process?
The timeline for the KYC process varies, I would say, between, say, about 3 weeks to
Okay.
sometimes 6 weeks.
Okay. 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 I think we are done with the questions.
Very well.
So Rohan, you can take over.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. All right. All right, Duncan. Thank you so much. That was an insightful presentation. With this, we conclude the IREX Business Connect. Please note that all panelists will get in touch with each one of you via email and will share their presentation with all the attendees. In case you have any queries, please feel free to email us on the given email address on the chat box. On behalf of Team GMN Events and IREX, I would like to thank all of you for removing some of your precious time for being a part of this platform. We pray that you and your family continues to remain safe and hoping we all come out of this stronger than ever. Take care, everybody. Goodbye. Have a lovely weekend.